One of the things I love the most about sports is the fact that there's no color lines. Race is not typically an indicator of whether or not you get the job. More often than not, it's just about, are you fast enough? Are you strong enough? Are you athletic enough? But there's one position in all sports that throughout history that hasn't really been measured by your physical attributes alone. This position requires that you have mental intellect. And throughout history, regardless of sport, in life in general, it has been world renowned that majority of the time that black men are not the most intellectual. That black men cannot handle the most intellectual jobs. They rather are men who can do more of the physical labor. But the higher the positions go in every organization, you see less and less black men. But I want to take a moment today, guys, just to take a look and see a resurgence in the NFL of black quarterbacks. And why do I say resurgence? For those of you that are young, just like me, I'm 30 years old. Some of you may be even younger than me watching this. You probably don't remember the initial run of black quarterbacks. In the late 80s, early 90s, we had names such as Doug Williams, who won the Super Bowl MVP, Warren Moon, Randall Cunningham. These men were taking the NFL by storm, leading the league in so many stats, but more than anything, they were bringing highlights and athleticism to that position that had never been seen. You move along to the mid-90s and the late 2000s, you get players like Steve McNair, Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick, Dante Culpepper, Quincy Carter. Well, not Quincy Carter. We get players such as those guys, and you realize that not only are they athletic, but they can carry a franchise. They're quarterbacks that can lead you to future success. But now you fast forward to today's game, and you look at one particular season that what I believe created this now resurgence of the black NFL quarterback. And that was the 2015 NFL season where we see the Carolina Panthers go 15-1, led by black quarterback Cam Newton, who goes on to win the MVP, takes his team to Super Bowl, didn't really show up in that game, but he took him there. And we know, guys, that the NFL, if nothing else, is a copycat league. As I mentioned earlier, as a Cowboy fan, we mentioned the name Quincy Carter only because we remember Jerry Jones wanted to get himself a Michael Vick. And that failed miserably. But we do know that this league is a copycat league. So if you look around the league right now, guys, you see black quarterbacks being integrated. Whether they have starting jobs or they're the immediate backup, we see black quarterbacks all over. Just to name a few, Tyrod Taylor, who's a projected starter for the Cleveland Browns. The before mentioned Cam Newton for the Carolina Panthers. Deshaun Watson, the starter for Houston, Texas. And speaking of copycat league, you guys can't tell me that the Houston Texans didn't feel motivated to get Deshaun Watson in the second round when so many people was questioning whether he could do it, whether he had the accuracy, whether he can lead the team. Yeah, he had this college offense, and can he transition to the NFL? You can't tell me that the success that Dak Prescott had the year before didn't convince Houston to getting their future quarterback. But speaking of Dak Prescott, that leads me to my next point of this topic. I'm a person who don't subscribe to the method of if you got a certain percentage of blackness in you, then you black. That's not me. I call people for who they are. Dak Prescott, and I think he would call himself this as well, is proud to be a mixed race gentleman. Dak Prescott is mixed race. He has a white mother who he's primarily raised by, but he has a black father who was an integral part of his life as well. And that dynamic, guys, more than his athleticism, his intellect, his personality, guys. Dak Prescott was able to live and be raised by a white mother and her father, which he was able to experience what it is to be a white man but also experience what it is to be a black man. And we know that the majority of locker rooms are made up of white and black males. So what you found out in 2016 for the Dallas Cowboys is that Dak Prescott was able to relate to everybody in the room. Not only because he just have an affectionate attitude and personality, but the mere fact he's able to relate to so many people based on his upbringing. You say, well, any quarterback should be able to do that? No. Tony Romo never really related to people. I mean, especially when he became Tony Romo. Yeah, he was a fourth-string quarterback, barely just hanging on to the team, he was able to. But no, once he became a star, he didn't relate to nobody really. And even though Dak Prescott hasn't became a Super Bowl winner or a playoff winner, anything like that, he's still a quote-unquote a star, being that he's the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. But as I follow the Cowboys as heavy as I do, as heavy as any fan could, I still see Dak Prescott being that same humble Mississippi State quarterback who just trying to have fun with all the players. You see him working out with defensive players in the offseason. I mean, he's doing what he can to relate and to be on one accord with all his teammates. And I only mention that is because I see the same in a couple other players. Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. People want to say, oh, he's a black quarterback. He's mixed race as well. Russell Wilson. I mean, there's been some things lately that his teammates have been able to relate to lately. And I think they have a lot more to do with Ciara than they have to do with. I'm just playing. I don't like Ciara. But anyway, go. I think something going on with now recently, the last several years for Seattle, with Russell Wilson not being able to relate. But Russell Wilson came into the league, was able to relate to the whole entire team. He was part of the chemistry, the incredible chemistry that Seattle had that took them to back-to-back Super Bowls and led them to a lot of playoff success. I mean, him being mixed race, I believe, really helped him relate to so many people, including the coaching staff, the ownership, the black players, the white players. I mean, it's a hard thing to do. A rookie coming in, first, second-year guy coming in, leading his team to playoff success and getting the respect of the locker room. So I'm saying all that to say this. Not only has there been a resurgence for black quarterbacks, I think black quarterbacks may be the new wave. If you look at the offenses that are being ran now, it's primarily run-pass options. It's the college-style offense. So you need a quarterback who's a threat. Yeah, you had Nick Foles who just won a Super Bowl without being a threat to run, but he had a threat to catch Super Bowl touchdowns. I mean, he was a threat to do something. The Eagles just had a rolling last year. But more often than not, for those offenses to work, you need a quarterback who's able to run, or at least to have a threat of running. So we know more often than not, black quarterbacks are in that wave. But not only with the way the offenses are ran, but I believe personality-wise. Don't get me wrong, you got a lot of white quarterbacks out there that can relate with the team, with even the black players. You got people like Drew Brees who do a great job with that. Phillip Rivers do a great job with that. And new players coming into the league with Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield do a great job with that. But think about it in the grand scheme of, it's time to bring new flavor. The old adage of, the pocket quarterback needs to be, cerebral and needs to be able to dissect the offense and all that. Nah, these young guys who come into the league now, they need the offense to be ran around them. They don't need this old school coaches trying to force the offense down their throat. They need the offense to be ran around them. And these college teams, especially the college teams here in Texas, these high school teams here in Texas, they run this spread offense, run pass options, 1 or 2 reads. So if you want to lose that talent, I get sick of seeing these young black players, young black quarterbacks be running 4-3s at quarterback. Still got the arm to do it all, but as soon as they get to college, they put him at receiver because they know if he goes to the next level, he won't be able to succeed in the NFL. It's time to wake up NFL and see the new wave. I think this may be a new wave. It's not just about a race thing, but you got to give these black quarterbacks a chance. It's your boy mel.on.mars. Let me hear what you guys say about this topic. I'd love to hear what you think about it. If I'm well off base, let me know. If you agree with me, if you disagree, whatever you want to say about it, I just want to hear what you got to say. And as always, let's grow. Peace.